So let me go on with that from what you've seen as an impressive startup venture in Armenia to Dasaran and the educational program that you run.
Thank you. Dear participants, first I would like to take this opportunity and thank the organizers for inviting me. It is a great pleasure to be here with you and address this remarkable audience. I am coming from the country which is Armenia, and it is on a very junction between Europe and Asia. But to me, in reality, Armenia is not about the landscape or the architects, etc. It is more about the building. It is more about the people who live in that country, who make the country the way it is. So that is why every single citizen in our country matters. You know, in a countries like where you don't have a natural resources, you need to use your natural resource, which is your brains. That's one of the reasons why back in 2009 we created a platform called Dasaran. It's a software which in translation from Armenian means classroom. You know, as I mentioned, we need to focus on a human capital if we want to have a developed state. And when we talk about the human capital, what we need to do is to go back and start from the efficient system of education. So what is Dasaran? It consists of three main elements. First one is online school management system, demographic analytics for policymakers, and gamified education. But before I go deeper into these elements, I just want you to understand what we have done. Back in 2009, we created sort of electronic pipelines which goes all the way and connects to all Armenian families where there is a school-age child. And then in 2010, we signed a contract with the government and we said, now please give us your best educational content so we can equally disseminate it through our pipelines towards every Armenian family with no matter what is their geographical location or social background. So equal opportunities for every child, that was one of our missions. Today we have 1,500 schools connected to Dasaran. This is 100% penetration of all Armenian public schools with over 1 million registered users. So school management tool. It is e-gradebook, e-diary, working environment for teachers, management tool for principals. With this, we gave an opportunity for every child and every parent to track their school performance on a daily basis so they can see their grades, homeworks, absences. But the system also does a lot of interesting forecasts. It says, for example, hey, it's almost the end of semester. If you want to have a better average, take care of about your math. Or it's forecast for the parents and it's saying, it's been 3 years we've been tracking your kid's performance and we can say now your kid is more math-oriented or humanities-oriented or any other subject-oriented. 38,000 teachers have been trained computer literacy. It was one of the hardest things to do. You know, we have 38,000 teachers in Armenia, out of which 43% are over 51 years old. Within 6 years, you know, when we just started implementing our software, only 5% out of 38,000 teachers were using computer on their daily basis. Today, we reached from 5% to 81% of all teachers using computer on daily basis. Another measurable outcome was all those parents who have been tracking their kids' performance in the school via Dasaran at least once in a week. At the end of semester, their kids have 39% improvement in grades and 83% decrease in the absences. Here are two measurable outcomes which motivated us to continue doing whatever we are doing. Data, information, and outcome. This is another great tool that we created actually very recently. Because we have been accumulating huge data, about 1 million people, as I mentioned, and this is 1/3 of Armenian population. We came up with a new tool which we called ISTAT, diagnostic tool on public education, which is an advanced online statistical and analytical tool which provides comprehensive insights into the school education system and allows for effective monitoring of schools and education indicators in the country. The e-stat is provided to the government of Armenia, Ministry of Education and Science, as well as to the national and local authorities responsible for education, laying foundation for later to use data for efficient and effective policy making, primarily in diagnosing critical conditions that may be affecting educational outcomes and providing information that can be essential in making data-driven and informed policy decisions in the education sector. This tool helps government of Armenia to build infrastructural capacity through low-cost, yet state-of-art and high-quality innovative technologies means for effective and efficient policy making in the education sector, contributing both to SDG 4, education, and SDG 9, technology, innovation, and infrastructure. Here are some numbers of people using Dasaran on a monthly basis. Now let's go to my favorite part, which is gamified education. You know, Armenia used to be a part of Soviet Union before it got collapsed in 1991, and all our system of education we gained from the Soviet Union, which is a formal type of education, mandatory type of education. But we decided that it's the right time to break this old stereotype because we believe, first of all, kids should love the process of learning, because the education should be fun, cool, and entertaining. So we decided, okay, why not to create 59 already games which are teaching kids their own subjects, but we are games. We teach Armenian kids about math, geography, history, whatever they are passing in the schools, but besides, we also cover the gap, which is not being covered by the Ministry of Education. We teach Armenian kids about driving rules, about social inclusion, about bullying, about human rights, their rights, constitution, criminal code, about why to save energy or why to save water, about social inclusion, about environmental protection, or Europe and United States, their values, histories, and culture. These games have become the most important thing for especially kids sitting in the vulnerable areas in Armenia, in the villages, in the borderlines. So we believe that education, first of all, should be fun. You know, there is a good saying, they said, I hate studying, but I love learning because learning is much fun. So that's what we're trying to do. Dasaran was recognized as one of the best 5 innovative enterprises in the world. These were the headlines last year of many international medias when we were recognized by the UNDP during the Accelerate 2030. This makes us to be on a radar screen of many international organizations represented in Armenia, and not only, because Dasaran today is the largest environment where delivering the educational content becomes the most cost-effective way. So we managed to deliver and disseminate education equally towards every Armenian families. You know, today we're working for these kids because when we talk about the future, education is the first thing that comes to my mind. You know, whatever education we provide today to our future generations, the equivalent echoes we're gonna hear in the future, because I see no other way of creating a better future. Dasaran is a software which can be easily translated into any language and scaled to the world. Thank you.